Deciding when to retire has to be one of the most difficult decisions a professional athlete has to make in their entire life. In this video, I'll be giving you 10 NBA stars who retired too early. Hello there and welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. You've clicked on this video out of pure curiosity. So before you get further into this, let me just tell you, you've came to the right place. Be sure to subscribe with those bell notifications on if you're new here. You don't want to miss a single upload, I promise you. Without further ado, let's get into this. To start things off at number 10 is Nate Robinson. Nate Robinson left the league a couple of seasons ago and is currently playing in Venezuela as the team's go-to guy. But he's clearly been trying to get attention from the NBA sides and social media, stating that he's eager and more than willing to make a return to the NBA had a team require his services. Truth to be told, the fact that Crypto Nate's not on an NBA roster or at least in the G League right now is kind of surprising, in consideration of how much the league values firepower and tends to go small nowadays. We all know what Nate can put on the table off the bench as an instant offense kind of player, where he's a defensive liability, but you just can't deny his heart and feel for the game. At number 9 is Brandon Roy. It's crazy to believe how far he could have gotten if it wasn't for all those constant nagging pains and regrettable knee injuries. He'd probably still be bowling his life out backing up Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum in his beloved Portland Trailblazers team. In just a handful of NBA games, Brandon Roy wowed everybody with his impeccable scoring ability, his handles and crafty moves, and the fact that he could fill the stat sheet on a nightly basis regardless of his rival. Coming in at the number 8 spot is David Lee. Not so long ago, David Lee decided to call it a day after spending 1 year with the San Antonio Spurs as their big man off the bench. And am content of the fact that he wasn't much needed during the Golden State Warriors 2014-15 championship run, his jersey should hang in the rafters of the Oracle Arena for sure. Lee was once one of the best scoring power forwards in the league and a very capable rebounder. So the fact that he decided to retire at age 33 when everybody was expecting him to sign a 1-year deal with a contender comes a huge surprise. Apparently, he was never happy with the lesser role he got over the last passage of his career, and he chose to be dressed in street clothes rather than continue to play the game he loved. Dropping in at number 7 is Baron Davis. Just like Nate Robinson, Baron Davis has reportedly been desperate to make a comeback to the NBA for years now after leaving the association in 2012. Davis was one of the best scorers in the league during his prime, as well as a terrific playmaker and very efficient player at both ends of the court overall. Sadly, injuries took a toll on his development, and it seemed just like he couldn't shake them off. Now he's spending some time in the G League at Delaware, something quite sad if you remember he was one of the best two-way point guards in the league. At number 6 is Gilbert Arenas. For a while, Gilbert Arenas was considered as a part of basketball elite with his capacity to score at will and be a willful passer. But his lack of leadership, poor off-court behavior, and self-destructive personality made him one of the NBA's biggest what-ifs of the last couple of decades. Arenas was banned from the league for reportedly pulling a couple of guns in the locker room to his teammate Jarvis Quentin after a gambling altercation, and whether of his aptitudes and desire to come back to the league, nobody is going to give him a second chance, nor is he worthy of one. Through a 10-year span, he averaged 20.7 points, 3.9 rebounds, and 5.3 assists per game with 1.6 steals, also winning the MVP accolade and making it to 3 All-Star games. Dropping in at number 5 is Carlos Boozer. Back in the day, Carlos Boozer was a major force down low in the paint, especially during his Utah Jazz stint. Sadly, it went all downhill quite fast for him during his last couple of years with the Chicago Bulls, and young fans just don't reckon how dominant Booz was in the glass and as a scoring machine in the paint. Boozer spent his last forgettable season with the Los Angeles Lakers before calling it a day, but everybody was expecting him to come back at some point of the season on a vet deal minimum to help a contender and go down as a champion. Something to this day is still to happen. All over his course, Boozer made it to a couple of All-Stars and averaged 16.2 points and 9.8 boards on 52% from the hardwood. At number 4 is Latrell Sprewell. Latrell Sprewell was an incredible star during his New York Knicks term, making fans all across the globe try and emulate his signature hairstyle and buy his sneakers because of his fierce game in both ends of the hardwood, and he even made one all-defensive squad, albeit he's way more remembered by his scoring talents. Sprewell's NBA career got to a very dramatic ending as he was keen to get paid way more money than what he was supposed to get, even though the Minnesota Timberwolves had a very lucrative offer on the table waiting for him. Afterwards, he had to deal with bankruptcy and other issues, stuff that made it quite surprising for everybody not to watch him make a comeback to the league. Dropping in at number 3 is Amar Stoudemire. Young fans won't remember it, but during his Phoenix Suns stretch, Amar Stoudemire was relentless as they come, and nobody was going to score on him or stop him without paying the price with his strong anatomy and stunning athleticism for such a big individual. Sadly for him, injuries got the best of him during the last years of his career with the New York Knicks and Dallas Mavericks until he decided to go overseas to play at Israel. Moreover, we were all expecting him to try and make a comeback to retire as a champion, but apparently there were no suitors for the big guy. For number 2 is Caron Butler. Caron Butler was instrumental during the Dallas Mavericks championship run, and he overcame one of the toughest childhoods you'll hear about to become a very reliable source of hustle. Butler last played in Sacramento as a veteran mentor, and he averaged 14.1 points, 5 rebounds, 2.3 dimes, and over 1 steals per game through his career, and it was very surprising not to watch any team give him a shot, seeing how shorthanded the league is at the small forward spot right now. And finally, for the number 1 spot is Ray Allen. Without any kind of hesitation, we can all, yes, even Boston fans, by the way, agree that Ray Allen is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Allen was a huge threat during his early years with the Milwaukee Bucks and Seattle Supersonics as way more than a shooter, racking up points, steals, and assists as an athletic freak that could crash the best defenders in the world. Through the latter passages of his career, he became more of a spot-up or catch and shoot shooter, and he'll go down as one of the deadliest scorers from beyond the arc in NBA history. Allen made it to 2 All-Stars and was a key factor in 2 NBA championship teams, and everybody was expecting him to make a comeback for 2 full seasons until he finally stated that he had no intentions whatsoever of doing so. That is it for the video, guys. If you made it this far, you are awesome. Thank you so much for watching. It is highly appreciated. Before you close this video out, however, if you already haven't smashed that like button, please do that. It helps out a lot. If you're new here, remember to subscribe with those bell notifications on. Also, share with everyone that you possibly can. Drop a comment, let me know what type of videos you would like to see. And until next time, guys, have a great day.